Quite an honor to be here and to talk amongst you about the work that we've done in protecting the desert environment, the Colorado River, the octopus in the desert, traditional Native American sacred sites, springs and seeps, the land, the plants, the animals. Because Mother Earth and all of its inhabitants have been abused for much too long. Mother Earth has been hurt so bad. It's almost contemptuous what's happening today in these days of trials of earthquakes and tsunamis and who knows what else. Bad things that are coming and taking lives. The most purest thing in the world, water. Ba. Can anybody say that? Ba.
Paw.
Ba in the Nuo language means water. It's sacred to us. It's holy. We speak to it. It speaks to us. It remembers us. It knows us because we help protect it. On the way over through Tecopa, seeing all those little pools of water out there lets me know that up here in Nevada, in parts of Southern California, that there's a lot of water under this land that people don't realize. And all these waters are still connected. My dear friend, Kim Stringfellow, who just showed me that newspaper article of that earthquake in Mexico and how it affected Devil's Hole with four foot wakes in there. Now you can't tell me that's not interconnected in there because we experienced this at Chemehuevi Valley too. I'm a Chemehuevi. Our traditional name of our people is Nuwu. For all the Southern Paiute bands, it means the people. Our people, the Chemehuevi, we came from this area. We don't know exactly where. Could have been right here at Pahrump. Could have been up on the mountain. We were just told that our people came from Mount Charleston and migrated down through the Mojave Desert and established encampments, made relationships and connections with the land and the resources, and meandered all the way down to Chemehuevi Valley, California. The group that went down there, after being in the desert for many months, tired, hungry, thirsty, they walked all the way to the Colorado River. And when you approach Lake Havasu now, you come in at Havasu Lake Road, about 10 miles out, you see the lake down below. Nice, beautiful lake, beautiful. But imagine this, when the Chemehuevis, the Nuwu, came down in the late 1600s, early 1700s, they couldn't see that. And it wouldn't have been blue anyway, it would have been red with the muddy water running through. Rio Colorado. Well, now it's blue because of all the dams that blocked up all the silt and stopped the water, slow down the drainage, and all these, the colors had changed from red to blue. But underneath that lake, 30 feet beneath that lake, is the heartland of our people. And when our people came to that river and they saw the river, down below they ran. And they were hungry, tired, thirsty, they ran, and when they ran, they referred to them as running like road runners because they were excited. You know what road runners look like, don't you? You know what they run like? With their heads down, noses up. Well, that's the way they explained how they ran. They said, I'm just to give you an example. Chemehuevi warriors, scouts, see a group of our people coming down on the other side of a big bay, the Colorado River flowing down below. They're hungry, tired, thirsty, they're running. And these two scouts, they see them running and they start chuckling and laughing at them. Punikai, in our language, Punikai, look, Punikai, Punikai, Utsumu, the Kwikwa. They're running like road runners with their head down. So, whenever they refer to the Nuwu that settled in Chemehuevi Valley, they refer to them as Atumawev. And when the Mojave people picked up on this, it was changed to beat their tongue, changed to Chemehuevi. So that's what we're known to the Mojave bands, the Chemehuevi. But to us, we still go by Nuwu, but we went by the new term, Atumawev, which eventually changed to Chemehuevi. And the reason that was done was because of the Father Garces migrating up north looking for the Spanish Trail encountered Chemehuevis, Nuwa Chemehuevis, and he had an encounter with them. They had an exchange, and he told them the route. They told him the route to go, and they came up this way, found this trail. But that is the first time the Chemehuevi name was written in that way, as Chemehuevi. So I'm explaining to you who we are. We are Nuwa, but we are Chemehuevi, and we settled in Chemehuevi Valley at a place that we called swaths. And swaths is where there were grindstones along the river, and now they're all 30 feet beneath the waters there. But at any rate, that's where our people came from. I grew up in Pahrump Valley on the Colorado River Indian Reservation, and what everybody's experiencing and seeing in South America with the clear cutting of the rainforest, believe it or not, I experienced that growing up in Pahrump Valley. Pahrump Valley is a vast agricultural valley, floodplain area, a lot of vegetation, a lot of mesquite trees, grubine trees, arrowweed, willow, cottonwood, you name it. A lot of wildlife, a lot of deer. Well, when I was growing up, that was our playground. My family, when they were moved out of Chemehuevi Valley because of construction of Parker Dam, they were forced out of Chemehuevi Valley and moved and relocated to Parker and settled on the reservation. That's how we became members of the Colorado River Indian Reservation at that time. So we were meandering pretty much, but we were never satisfied. Our people were never satisfied of being a member of the Colorado River Indian tribes, of being one of the 4 tribes, Chemehuevi, Mojave, Hopi, and Navajo, because we knew that we had a reservation right up river at Lake Havasu. Well, we fought hard for that, and the people wanted it, and in 1970, the Chemehuevi Indian tribe was recognized by the federal government, and we became known as the Chemehuevi Indian tribe, June 1970. Yeah. Woo! So since then, it's been a matter of coming back to our lands and establishing ourselves, and we were unwelcome guests in our own homeland, because all of our land was occupied by non-Indians. And I was the chief game warden coming there. Okay, so you can imagine what this was like, trying to establish rules and regs, laws for the tribe, putting people on notice that you're going to be cited if you don't have a tribal fishing or hunting license or a camping license. And I did, and we established a tribal court. But this is all tribal, setting up a tribal government, which the United States across the country already had. All the towns have their local governments and towns and sheriffs and police forces, and the whole municipality is going. Here we're new, and we wanted to establish ourselves, so we bought. We bought back an old resort at an overinflated price, and we now own and operate since 1974 Havasu Landing. And that was our first tribal business that we entered into. We still own it today, and we just recently built a new hotel and casino there, so you're all welcome to come down and recreate and spend some money. At any rate, you know, this is what we have now, and there's a beautiful lake there that is being inundated and flooded by not only contamination from everything upstream, but all the sand and silt that start filtering down into the lake. If you go up to Lake Havasu in the north part of the lake, Catfish Bay used to be 30 feet deep. All the way across the river, the average depth is 20 feet deep. Guess how deep it is now? Can anybody guess?
50.
You're about right. At Catfish Bay, on the Chemehuevi Indian Reservation to the Arizona side, you could walk across the river. When Parker Dam was filled, all that was 30 feet deep. Now from Catfish Bay all the way up north to Blankenship Bend, you're looking at 5 miles of siltation. 30 feet deep, 5 miles wide, 3/4 of a mile long, filtering into Lake Havasu. So there's not as much water in that lake as people are projecting. Maybe a basin, but this basin is filled up 1/3 of silt. So Southern California and Arizona don't have as much water as they think. It's not there. The wise thing that speculators do, they speculate, they take a guess. Well, this is going to be a good market scheme for the future, because it is water. What a wonderful idea. There's water on the desert. Well, great, let's create a farm. And they did. They created a 5,000 acre farm out there, citrus farm, that's wasting water like crazy. wasting water 24/7 from that precious aquifer. But they had all that time in the mind, they had this thought of marketing it, big bucks. Sure enough, that's what they're looking at. And I'm glad the judge finally made some sense of all this and denied him that permit. But you know, as a member of the Native American Land Conservancy, I'm not the only one. I was one of the founding fathers of that organization. But being there on our reservation is what led me into land protection and protection of sacred sites. Because of the spring that Shannon had mentioned at West Well, which is near our reservation, because of that and the encroachment and all the destruction of the petroglyphs there, the theft, and decorating their yards on our reservation with sacred objects that shouldn't be there, took it completely out of place. It means nothing now. These petroglyphs that meant something at a time, taken from their place of origin, 80 miles away and put in someone's yard to make it beautiful. Looks nice, doesn't it? But what did they do to that story? Completely destroyed that story now. Wherever those rocks came from, I was told that some came from the New York mountains up this way, and some may have come right from West Well. But you know, there's people all over this country who are pilfering these sites, taking these things in the black market, and selling them. And one thing is really terrible about NAGPRA, Native Graves and Repatriation Act. In the Four Corners area, private landowners are being allowed to have novice archaeologists come into their lands, their private lands, charging them a fee to come out and excavate sites, letting them keep what they take. And it's under the law. Sound familiar? It's under the law that they're doing this. But yet NAGPRA, that is supposed to be protecting these things, allowing it to happen. So help us. Help the Native Americans protect these resources. In 2008, we went up to Berkeley and protested all those remains, human remains that are in storage. Over 10,000 remains at Berkeley. Another 10,000 remains at UCLA. Another 10,000 remains here and there. Why? They don't need to be there. They need to be repatriated and put back into the earth. Ceremony took place. They were honored, respected, laid to rest, and here comes somebody to dig them up to find out what they ate, what they did. Bullshit. Times are coming, folks. Mother Earth can't take very much more. It's fighting back. It's retaliating on what man has done to it. I feel as if I am just one cog in a big wheel, just like you are. But you know these wheels, little wheels can turn bigger wheels, and bigger wheels. And that's what I see here happening. Your participation, your activism, your voice that's going to take it to the next level. Starting here. Use your voice. Use that power of your voice. Express yourselves. The Salt Zone Trail, what I'm really here for, talk about, is this map here. We developed this map to the Salt Zone Trail project, and in the bottom here we have 14 different bands of Southern Paiutes from Arizona, California, Utah, Nevada that we united to bring and create the Salt Zone Trail project. On the very bottom, there's one more band in San Bernardino and from the Victorville area that we put on there called Paiuches. The Paiuches were an extension of our people that migrated west. From Chemehuevi Valley, our people migrated to 29 Palms, Parker, and from 29 Palms to Morongo, to San Bernardino, to up to Victorville along the Mojave River. And those folks out there were called the Paiuches. And there's one family of them in San Bernardino yet. So when we have this map reprinted, they will be on there. Okay? I spoke with Vivian Jake before she passed about this, and she said, yes, we will accept that. So Salt Zone trails come through this area, and it starts over here in the Bill Williams River. On the Bill Williams River, just to the east of Parker Dam. There's a sacred cave there called Avi Nava, in our language called Tingae. That's where our song starts. It migrates all the way up, and it's about two sisters making the sacred journey, spiritual journey, up to the Havasu, all the way up to northern Arizona, the Kaibab Plateau, Cedar City, Indian Peak, all the way down to Indian Peak and Moapa, down through Mount Charleston. right on the other side of Mount Charleston, there's a couple of sacred pillars over there that our people say represent the two sisters that this whole Salt Song Trail is based on. But anyway, the Salt Song Trail comes down through this area. Don't know exactly where. It could be a view shed from one point to another, but there are other tributary trails that run into the Salt Song Trail. So it's not just one route. There's many other tributary trails that feed into this. Now, throughout all these lands, I would imagine if I walked across here, I would probably come across 10, 15 different trails cutting catacorner across these lands here. Why? Because they're always going somewhere. When our people migrate, establishing in different areas and setting up little encampments, they practice traditional farming, oasis farming out in the little places where there's little water, enough to grow food and sustenance for that group. And if they had other guests come, they would feed them too. But these oasis gardens were very special because they weren't staying there year round. Okay, they're always migrating.
I got a really nice
all throughout the Mojave Desert, our people migrated, the Chemehuevi migrated.
silhouette.
I'm very proud to say that one of my cousins who was on the Tribal Council of Colorado Indian Tribes, when the Mojave Trails National Monument was being discussed, inserted language about the Chemehuevis and occupation of the Mojave Desert, and now we had different establishments, different villages here and there. But President Obama, when he established the Mojave Trails National Monument, he wrote it in his proclamation, recognizing the Chemehuevis occupying the Mojave Desert and the Salt Song Trail, which covers this area. Some of you were in Shoshone a few years ago. I was there to give testimony on the solar project here at Pahrump. Do you recall that? Any of you recall that, where they were going to put up two huge 700-foot towers out here?
Yep.
Well, it happened. And one of my dear friends, Richard Arnold from Pahrump here, he invited me up to testify on behalf of the Salt Song and the Nawua people about the Salt Song Trail and how significant it is. And I wrote the story about that, and I did my testimony, and we helped stop this project. And of course, here comes another project, and this is always going to be continuous because this is a moneymaker. And when I read the flyer about take the solar to the city, why not? Put the solar over the aquifers, why not? Put the solar over the open canals in California, why not? Why do we have to take up all this acreage? Do you realize what you're doing to the cosmos? I don't think that's really been studied and researched, but my son and I, my oldest son and I, start talking about this, about consequences of things that haven't been fully studied or analyzed. You have 4,000 acres of solar panels here, another, I don't know, 20,000 over at Pahrump, all shooting up into the sky. What's happening today? What's happening today with the world? And all these different climate changes that are happening so dramatically. Back east, temperatures reaching 100 degrees. You ever hear that? It's happening today. What's happening? My son and I came up with a little analysis. Yeah, there's all these solar panels kicking up, reflecting all the solar energy, reflecting back up into the cosmos. But because it's so contaminated up there, it has no place to go. It reflects back down onto Mother Earth, somewhere else. Other places in this country are being heated up like they've never been heated before. Around the world, it's happening. And you think back about nuclear waste and the waste stream. They were smart at creating this stuff, but they didn't know what the hell they were doing with it. I was watching videos about all these tests that they're doing around the world in different countries with nuclear explosions and testing. Wow, this has got to be a better bomb. Oh yeah, 1,000 times worse than the one in Hiroshima. And it finally stopped. They had to bring it under control. But look at what they did. Look what they did over here at Area 51 and Nevada test site, Nellis Air Force Base. It's all contaminated, big time. And the fallout just didn't stay there. My brother and our cousin, they used to stand on top of haystacks in Parker and watch the explosions from Parker, Arizona. Las Vegas. build a high tower hotel so they can sit up there and have a good view of the explosions for money. Money, money, money. That's my biggest argument, is about money. And that's what America is built on, is about money and the greed factor. We can't be that way. You can't be that way. We all have to change. So what we did with Salt on Trail Project, we tried to change and tried to stop progress, to let our people say, hey, wait, we have sacred songs. And now we have a lot of younger generation coming up learning these songs, which would have died out years ago if we didn't wake up and say, hey, we gotta wake up. You've gotta wake up and see what's happening around you and around your people, around Mother Earth. Wake up. Wake up. Kuruki, get up. Well, I'm rambling on and on now. I'm have to stop. My voice getting kind of raspy. I really appreciate being up here. It's quite an honor to stand up here and talk before you all, because I know that my voice is gonna do something to your mind and make you think, make that gear turn a little bit more and figure out what else is going on here. One project, another project. Just think of what we're facing over in Southern California with all these projects. And just think about all what's happening on the earth. And these little creatures right here that are being disrupted, all their little homes. On our farm, we only have a little 80-acre farm, but to see that land being converted from a desert to sustainable lands, and to see what's happening on the earth itself, if you sit down and look down, surprise yourself. Do that. Take a look down and see what's happening on the earth. Look at those little creatures that are still coming out of the ground. Where do they come from? What makes them live? What makes you live? Food and water. Water more than anything, the most precious element being wasted. I have nothing more to say, but I'm glad to answer any questions if you have questions. I want to thank all of those of you who are journalists, writers, because your words are very meaningful. Your words tell truth. You witness what you see, and it's all coming about. So continue doing what you're doing and telling the truth. Let it be known that America can't take this no more. Mother Earth can't take this no more. It's got to stop. You're here. Let's stop this. Come on.